All right, our next one for our repurposed wrapping paper project with newsprint or newspaper, we're going to use paint and also make vegetable stamps. Okay, so first things we're going to need newspaper. We're going to need paint. We're going to need brushes. You can use a foam one, you can use a regular hair one. Either one works just fine. We'll need water so that we can wash our brush in between applications. And a little red potato, if that's what you want to use. You could also use an apple. You could use a russet potato. And then I have two different types of cutting tools today. I have a regular kitchen knife so that I can cut it in half easily, and then this is going to be for our detail work to make our stamp exactly the way we want it, and then it's a little safer. It's not as cumbersome as a larger knife. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to, again, check my paper to make sure it's what I want. Is this nice and blank? Let's look. I say that's pretty good. I say there's just a couple little maps and things, but that's not going to distract because it's not color. It's all still one tone. Okay, now I'm going to just put a little dollop of paint on my work surface. Just a little bit. There we go. I love red. I think it's such a bright, fun, festive color. So I'm going to use red. You can use whatever color you want, whatever strikes your fancy. Now, just like with our marker paper patterns, those same kind of things can apply to our paint patterns. When it comes to paint, and I have a wider bristle or wider paint surface to work with, I like to have it more simple. So I think I'm going to do nice wavy lines, or I can make giant polka dots. Let's see, which feels better. Let's dip our brush into the water. We don't want to have too much. Do you hear that? That was a lot. That was too much. So we just want it wet, just damp, so that it really picks up that paint. Okay, so it really picks up that paint. Okay, now I didn't smush my brush in, right? I was being nice and gentle. Now I'm going to test out, I think, those big polka dots. I'm going to first put my brush down, and then I'm going to gently spin and twist. There we go. And ta-da, a beautiful big dot. Ooh, this would be a fun one to read, The Dot by Mr. Reynolds. And let's do another one. This is a great exercise in patience. Taking your time, being kind to yourself. If you make a mistake, that's fine. That's totally fine. Because you know what? The gift you're giving this, or the person you're giving this gift to, is just going to be happy that you put the effort into making this. Here we go. Let's go again. Again, I'm taking my time, nice and slow. If I don't finish it all in one curved sweep, I just start from the other side. I'm just going to keep going until I've filled my sheet with as many dots as I would like to do. I like doing the nice alternative pattern, so they're not just all in one nice clean row. They kind of alternate in space. And once you kind of get the rhythm of it, you can kind of develop more confidence, and also you kind of go off the page if you need to, just so that you have that nice crisp pattern all the way to the edge. You don't have to do this, especially if you don't have necessarily a nice clean work surface or something to put on top. That's totally fine. So I'm going to dab a little more paint on there. I might just get a little more water too, just to make sure that I can make it nice, smooth dots. And a little halvesy on the top there too. Ooh. Ta-da! Okay. So if you just wanted to paint a pattern, you could just paint a beautiful pattern on there and try a different medium. Maybe if you only ever worked with markers, this is a fun opportunity to do something simple and low risk and high success. So here's our polka dots. Now let's dive into the next part. Let's make that vegetable stamp. Let's get our potato. Let's get our knives, and we still have our paintbrush and our water and our little bit of paint. Now, here we go. Whenever you're using a knife, always make sure that you have an adult present or have an adult do it for you. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try to cut this as perfectly in half as possible. I don't want it any diagonals or it to kind of go ee. I don't need any of that because that'll ruin my stamp. So as long as it's nice and straight and flat, you're gonna get a really nice print. So I'm just gonna slowly slice. There we go. As you can see, that is nice and flat. That will be a nice stamp. And you can kind of test it because sometimes there's still a little bit of juice on it. And it looks like it'll do a pretty good job. Now, this is one where I recommend definitely doing a couple little test runs. So, for example, you could do like a little smiley face. You could cut out a little star. You could make a little heart. So, I think I'm going to do a little star. I like making little stars, and I think it will look really good with the red that I already have. So, I would recommend using a pencil to sketch out your design. If it's too complicated, you're not going to be able to cut it all out. So simplicity is key, okay? Now, again, I've got my cover on my blade, making sure that I'm being very safe, making sure that my hands are out of the way. I've made a few stars before, so I'm not going to sketch it out on mine, but I really recommend that you sketch it out on yours. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start with making a couple little cuts just for the point of my star. Now, I'm going to go down off to the side. Now, I've made this wedge. I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to cut that away and blip. There we go. Now I have that one part of my stamp ready to go. Now I'm going to move it over here. Again, keep my hands out of the way so that I don't hurt myself. Slice it down. Now I'm going to slice along the side to get rid of that. Ta-da! Ooh, it's coming together. So we've got our one point, the beginning little arms of our star. Now I'm going to do exactly what I've just done to follow it all the way around. Now, does this have to be a perfect 5-pointed star? Not at all. I could have this all kinds of points. I could have it a 6-pointed star. I could have it with little points, big points. Do they all have to be exactly the same? No. That's the best part about it. So I make that little wedge shape, and then I go underneath, and then I cut it out. Now it looks like this could almost turn into a poinsettia if I wanted to. It doesn't have to be, like I said, a pretty star. Kind of has that nice flower petally look almost to it. Okay, and I think that's going to be my last one. Again, I'm going to come into the side and I'm going to just kind of pop that little bit out. Look at that. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of red so you really see it. And then we'll do a couple test stamps to see if we like it. So I'm gently dabbing. I'm dabbing the print so that I don't get a bunch on the outer edges. Because if I get it on the outer edges, then I could make kind of a mess and it wouldn't look as clean as we would like it to be. Everything is nice and covered. We've got our nice little star here. Now I'm going to, let's see here, put it off to the side so it's not in the way of other things, and press it down. I don't need to push too hard, but I still want it to hit the entire surface. Ta-da! Oh, beautiful. Now, look, I could do a couple. Look at that. Oh, so much fun. Okay. And I still have a whole nother half a potato. I could do something else. I could make that heart. I could maybe make a snowman with a hat on the top. He's so cute. Okay, now let's get it on our paper. Here we are. Make it nice and smooth. Now, going to do exactly what I did before. I kind of like this pattern of the darker and the faded over and over again. So I'm going to get a little more paint. Dab, 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 dab. Being patient is key. Beautiful. Oh, here, let me show you a little oopsie, a little mistake that sometimes can be made. So I'm dabbing, I'm taking my time, but then I push really hard, then, uh-oh, I made a smear. I kind of dragged it. And if you push too hard too, sometimes you can wreck your little print and it'll be broken. Like one of my little points might fall off, and then your beautiful paper would be ruined. So take your time, be nice and gentle. Now, I'm kind of free-forming this one. I'm not putting them all in nice, clean little rows like our beautiful polka dot one. And I like going off the edge to make it look really nice and clean and neat, and make it look like real fabric or real wrapping paper. Ooh, could you alternate? Could you use more than one stamp on the same piece of paper? Of course you can. So I'm going to just finish up stamping this guy. This is acrylic paint. You can use tempera paint if you want. Acrylic paint, you could even do this with fabric if you wanted to make your own pattern for, say, like a ugly sweater, or if you wanted to make your own stocking out of fabric, or you wanted just to decorate, just anything else. Because tempera paint is washable, but acrylic is permanent. So if you wanted to make something permanent, definitely use acrylic. There we go. Oh my gosh, I think I'm almost done. It looks so good. And I'm gonna say that's a wrap. A wrap, oh my gosh, because we're doing gift wrapping. Look at that. Oh, so beautiful. Here we have our beautiful paper that we've just made. We made our beautiful stamps. We made beautiful polka dots. Look at all the cool possibilities you have with newspaper and a little extra supplies. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon.